Good evening, everyone. Welcome to CECO Energy's District 6 meeting. I'm Mike Muffett, your district trustee, and I'm thanking you that you're all here tonight. It's a nice evening to be out compared to what it's been in the last few nights, so I'm thankful for the good weather. If you would, could we stand and we'll have a pledge and then, a prayer and then pledge. Father God, thank you for the day that you've given us. We thank you for the safe travel that you've given us today, and we thank you for the beautiful weather that you've also given us. What a day it is in America to be a citizen of the United States of America, and we thank you for that. You've blessed the United States so greatly, and we can't thank you enough for all of that. We're here tonight enjoying the opportunity to have this meeting, and we just pray that you bless it as we go through the evening. We want to thank all the CECO Energy people that are here, all the employees, all the people in our area that have CECO Energy as their power. We just thank you for those that are here tonight. Father, I pray for the military, the police, the first responders, that you'd watch over them and protect them and help them, that you would enable them to do their jobs safely and return back to their families and bless them. Father, we thank you for CECO Energy's employees and how hard they work. We thank you that sometimes they are in very dangerous areas and doing dangerous jobs, and that you watch over them, and we ask you to continue to do that. And Father, we just pray for people all around the world, that you'd bring peace to all the conflicts of the world, that you would find a way, that they would find a way to be able to get together and have peace between each other. Thank you for the meeting tonight. We ask you to use it to your glory in Jesus' name. Amen. You may be seated. No, let's do the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. Before I introduce our fellow trustees, I'd like to very much thank all of you that came, and I most assuredly want to thank all the employees that got this all together. I want to thank their hard work and the way that they greet you and watch out for each of you and make sure that you find where you need to go. They do really good work, and I appreciate that for them. So tonight what I would like to do is I'd like to give a round of applause to all those that had a part of it, and I'd ask you if you'd help me to do that tonight. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Board of Trustees. Jerry Anderson, our Board President in District 1. Morgan Hatfield is our Board Vice President in District 9. Joyce Anderson is our Board Secretary and Treasurer in District 2. Scott Boyette in District 1 Trustee, and his wife Rebecca. James Lamont is District 4, and his wife Suzanne. Our District 7 trustee is Joe Kuziak and his wife Carmen. Our District 8 trustee is Marty Proctor. Our CEO is Curtis Wynn. And I'd like to introduce Scott Gherkin, and he'll take the podium in just a moment. Could we give them all a round of applause, please? And a special thanks to my wife for all that she does that helps me to be able to do this. Irene. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our corporate attorney, Mr. Gherkin, to be the chairman of the meeting. Mr. Gherkin.
Well, thank you for that applause. I've said it before, but the good members of CECO are the only folks that ever applaud the attorney, so I appreciate that. So thank you. It is a privilege to be with you in District 6 this evening and to chair your meeting. There are a few, what I like to call housekeeping things that we need to do to begin the meeting to make sure that we're legal. First of all, the appointment of a recording secretary. She has done it many times before and has always said yes, but I always ask if Jerry Helms would be willing to be our recording secretary this evening, and she is shaking her head yes. So thank you, Jerry, for doing that. Second, we need to determine whether we have a quorum. Because we have an uncontested election tonight, the quorum was not absolutely necessary, but I am happy to say that we have a good turnout this evening and we have established a quorum to hold the meeting, so that is excellent. And the third thing on the agenda is to close the registration for voting. Is there anyone, we're all good? Thumbs up, good. Oh, 2 thumbs up, that's excellent. So sometimes people get distracted and get to the cookies and other things first and don't make it over, but you need to register to be eligible for some of the prizes. So is there anyone here who hasn't registered yet? Oh, we got one right here. See, I sold one for once. Oh, good. So we'll let this gentleman go ahead and get him registered, and then after that, we will close the registration for this evening. Very good. Okay, with that, I will like to bring forward Joyce Anderson. She is our District 2 trustee, and Secretary Treasurer will announce the certified candidate for this evening. Ms. Anderson?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Gerken. Excuse me. As the SECO Energy Secretary Treasurer, it's my responsibility to certify the nominee for trustee in District 6 in accordance with the Article 3, Section G, Paragraph 2 of the bylaws of Sumter Electric Cooperative, Inc. The following member is certified as a nominee for trustee for District 6. Mike Muffett, 16665 Southeast 45th Court, Summerfield, Florida 34491. Now I'll turn it back over to Mr. Gerken.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. It's been said many times before, and you'll hear Mr. Wynn talk about this a little bit in his remarks tonight, but it is worth noting again that something that sets SECO, Sumter Electric, apart is that you are a cooperative. So unlike investor-owned utilities and unlike government-owned utilities, you, the members, own SECO. You as the members, the customers, the members, own the cooperative, and one of your fundamental duties is electing a trustee from your district to represent you on the Board of Trustees. And we can thank the trustees behind us. They are not paid a salary. They do this a lot of times out of just the desire to serve you as the co-op. It is a requirement that your trustee be a resident of your district so that they truly are one of you and are representing you. This evening, Mr. Muffett was the only one that qualified for candidacy, so per the bylaws, I am happy to announce that Mr. Muffett, Mr. Mike Muffett, will be your trustee for another 3-year term. Congratulations, Mr. Muffett. Thank you. I like to think that's a good sign when you only have the one candidate. So, with that, I would also like to say that we are blessed to have as our CEO, Mr. Curtis Wynn. He is going to come forward and sort of give a state of the co-op address, speaking about some of the issues that are affecting you today, after which there'll be a time to ask questions. That period is usually for general questions, not particular questions about your account or things like that. Those are things you can talk with any of the members here, but you're welcome to ask questions at that time. So with that, if we could please give a round of applause to Mr. Curtis Wynn. Thank you.
Good evening. And thank you, Mr. Gerken, for that kind introduction. It's good to see everybody. Hope you're feeling lucky tonight. I say that because we do have some giveaways. We like to remind you that we have 3 $250 bill credits and 20 $25 bill credits that some lucky person who registered tonight will have a chance to win. And we'll we'll let you know sometimes next week once we get a chance to look at all the folks who registered, and you'll know by knowing that there's a bill credit on your electric bill. So be on the lookout for that, because I know there's going to be some lucky folks here for that. And there's another contest, another opportunity to win, and that is through our trivia contest. Now, if you haven't already, it's time to turn in those sheets. I saw several people sitting over looking at the trivia contest. Does anyone still have their sheets and have not turned those in? If you do, raise your hands. Okay, we have one over here. He's coming right behind you to pick that up. At the end of the meeting, we will randomly draw 3 winners from the trivia contest to receive a $50 gift card. And that will happen at the end of the meeting. So before we leave tonight, after the adjournment, we will see who those 3 lucky winners are. Now, leading up to this meeting, we did an online member engagement forum, and we call it a front porch forum, where 75 people from District 6 were contacted to just ask what are some of the things that are the top of mind that you would like to hear about at your district meeting. And those 4 areas were Smart Hub and using our online tools, energy sources and reliability, where does your energy come from, and about reliability, our Smart Connect program, and solutions to help you manage your energy use. And before I get into that, I'm going to just note that I will be talking about all 4 of those topics in my remarks today. But before I get into that, I do want to join others in recognizing and thanking our trustee for District 6, Mr. Mike Muffett, for congratulations on your reelection, Mr. Muffett, and thank you for all the service that you do, that you bring for SECO Energy. Mr. Muffett's got the very calm demeanor, who always is steady with what he does, but always there that you can depend on for good advice. And I want to just thank him and the rest of the board, who I can assure you that the 9 board members that represent SECO Energy have your interests at heart. And they are here and always here to represent you. So I want to ask you, if you don't mind, to give our trustees another round of applause. So the state of SECO Energy, I'll just start with some numbers. As of today, or at this point in time, SECO Energy is serving probably a little bit more than 264,000 homes and businesses in this region. Now, here in District 6, there are about 17,000 homes and businesses that we serve, 17,000 of those. Today, SECO Energy stands as the 7th largest distribution cooperative in the nation out of 800 cooperatives. And that's very much due to a lot of the growth that's been happening over the last 25 years. In the last 25 years, we have grown by, I think the number is probably about 145,000 new members in the last 25 years. Now, if you take that number with the 265, that's more growth in the last 25 years than we had in the first 60 years. SECO is over 85 years old. That's a lot of growth. And we're proud that that's happened, and we're one of the largest co-ops in the nation. But what we're very much consumed with, and we're committed to, is that for the nearly 500,000 member consumers that we serve, we're committed to providing you the best service possible. That is our commitment. We're very proud and honored to have that responsibility to serve that many people in this region. Now, I mentioned about the nearly 500,000 consumers, but that's probably not the right word to use for you. And I would ask that you would tell me, what is the right address for you? What should I have called you? Okay. Members, right? You heard Mr. Gerken. You are member owners. And membership of an electric cooperative has its privileges. And in two ways that happens. There are many ways, but I'll give you two. The first is that you have a voice in the governance process, as what we see tonight. This is the governance process at its best. Where we have this district meeting, you get the opportunity to select who your representative is to serve on your board of trustees. The second is that you share in the success that SECO has through capital credits. With capital credits, they are returned to members of the cooperative on the years, in most years, when we perform well financially. Now, to give you another statistic, if you look back over the last decade, SECO has returned more than $45 million in capital credits to you, the members. Now, that is a lot, and that's most utilities, no other utility other than a cooperative can say that. They give that back to their members when we have a successful year financially. Those are two major benefits of being a member of an electric cooperative. Just to go into a little bit about SECO, we consider ourselves strategically focused. We have a strategy, and in that strategy is a mission statement. And our mission as a not-for-profit electric utility cooperative, our mission is to provide reliable and innovative energy services to our members and our communities. That's our mission. We also have a clear vision about where we want to go, where do we want to be in just a few years or in the future. And our vision is clear. That vision is to lead the industry in member satisfaction and engagement while we strive to be the preferred employer in this region. We want the best talent we can to serve you as members. We have a set of core values at SECO. At the top of that list of core values is safety. This is a dangerous business. It's a dangerous business for our employees, and it can be dangerous for members too, and we take safety very seriously. We also value honesty and integrity, strong work ethic, having a strong work ethic, accountability, having an inclusive culture where everyone who works for SECO feels like they're a part of that organization, they have something to contribute. And most importantly is our commitment to serving you, the members of this cooperative. So those are the three elements that drive our strategy forward. Now, I want to just share with you some of the initiatives that are part of the strategy that helps us to think about how we operate today and how do we operate in the future as a utility. This industry is changing quite a bit. So one of the top initiatives that we have is a multi-year project. It's called the SECO Energy Expansion and Improvement Plan. It's a multi-year initiative that launched well before 2024, but officially in 2024, where we as a staff petitioned to the board to allow us to improve our workplace, to move into a more modern facility, to get out of some of the facilities that we have that are very much outdated. The existing facilities were built decades ago, back when we only served probably 30 or 40,000 consumers is when a lot of our facilities were built. So we've done as much as we can to patch them up, to deal with the growth of employees. Just today, we have over 500 employees. That is a major milestone that we just reached. And the facilities that we're in were built when we didn't have nearly as many employees. So that's one of the things that we needed to do. Building these new operating centers and warehouses will be located in Marion County, in Lake County, and Sumter County. We will also be updating, and modernizing our existing headquarters facility that's there in Sumterville. That's very important because we as employees and board members want to make sure that we continue to serve you with the quality service that you not only deserve, but you should have, that we should always want to give you. You need to have a cooperative that has the facilities that can respond in both good times and bad times. We want to ensure that you always receive that service. The other reason we need a new facility, as I've already alluded to, is that our employees deserve better. We said in our vision statement we wanted to be the preferred employer of the region. And can you imagine us going out, recruiting the best talent that we can find, and their first day of work, we kind of walked them over to their new office, and it's something that used to be a broom closet. April's smiling because she's in charge of HR, and she knows that happens. It's kind of, we get a little bit sheepish when we have to bring people into our facilities. So we need to have something better. The employees deserve better. And your team needs to be able in a position to keep up with this rapid growth that I talked about. We can't do it in facilities where our big trucks, our trucks that we use to get out and restore power, can hardly move around. That is where we are today. And fortunately, we've started. We're on our way. We hope that we are planning to break ground on those facilities in 2026 to get on the way with having a more modern facility. And that'll be a benefit to all of us. Another exciting initiative that we do that's a part of our strategy is called Advanced Metering Infrastructure. The acronym for that is AMI. Now, AMI is a project that we really have already completed. We can sort of wipe our hands with that one. That was completed in 2025. And that's almost 2 years ahead of schedule. And what AMI is doing is it has transitioned SECO from manually reading meters to a modern automated system that provides far more than just that one meter reading that you used to get every month. We would drive trucks all over our system to get 1 meter reading. Now, that leads to one of the areas of interest that you said that you want, that your representatives, those 75 people who we surveyed, said they wanted to hear about, and that is our Smart Hub platform. And it ties directly with the AMI project. AMI gives us access to near real-time energy usage data that's done by capturing a meter reading every 30 minutes. We're capturing a meter reading from every meter that we have on our system. With more data, members now know how much and how much energy they're using and what time of day they're using that energy. You can also know with the Smart Hub feature in the Smart Hub app that you can download to your phone, you can instantly know what your account balance is. You can know what your payment options are and exercise those options, whether it's by credit card or bank draft, or if you want to drive to a nearby location to make a cash payment. Smart Hub can tell you that. Another neat feature of Smart Hub is that it gives you instant notifications when you are using more electricity than you normally would use in a given time. And what that does is it kills the surprise of getting a very high bill without any warning. That is one of the toughest things we have to deal with when our members come, they have a high bill, they don't understand why. With Smart Hub, if you use it correctly, it can give you warnings when that's about to happen, and you can make adjustments to avoid that. But to get the most value from the Smart Hub, there are some steps that you have to take to get that extra value from that tool. And that is by building your personalized home energy profile. And with that profile, what you're asked to do is give some information about the size of your home, the number of occupants that are in the home, what type of major appliances you have, how much lighting are you using? Are you using efficient lighting or not so efficient lighting? Now, this information with Smart Hub, you can break down your kilowatt consumption usage by the appliance. You can get that detailed with the information. All that does is gives you power. It gives you control of your energy consumption. We want to put that control into your hands so that you can know what's happening and you can make adjustments when it's necessary. Now, you also should know that one of the other things that was asked of us during that survey is there was a question or questions about something as simple as where do we get power? Have anybody ever thought about it? Have you ever thought about it other than just flipping the switch and the lights come on? It's kind of automatic, isn't it? But where does that power come from? Well, SECO Energy is one of 9 member owners of a company called Seminole Electric Cooperative. They're based in Tampa, but they have large power generating facilities, we call them power plants, located throughout the state. Probably the closest one to us is up in Palatka. But they generate power using a variety of fuel sources, mainly with coal or natural gas. They generate that power, and then they transmit it to us with those large lines that come across. You see them in the big, large lines that come across the property. Those transmission lines bring it to SECO. And when we get it, it comes to our substations. At that point, it's our responsibility to get it to you, to get it out to your houses. And that's what makes that light come on when you flip the switch. But there's a lot to it. Now, in collaboration with Seminole, we get to another topic that you wanted to know about, and it's called the Smart Connect program. In connection and in collaboration with Seminole, we created this program as a voluntary program that's designed to reduce peak monthly demand. Let me give you translation for that, because you don't deal with this stuff every day like we do. Sometimes we throw out terms and think you should know what that means. Well, what peak monthly demand is really, put simply, is the amount of electricity that SECO must purchase from Seminole during the busiest times on either the coldest days or the hottest days of a given month. If our memory serves us, that just happened, didn't it? We hit a peak demand. We hit an all-time peak demand just a few days ago. It was either Monday or Tuesday. It was Tuesday. All-time high that we needed the most power we've ever needed. I thought it was Monday. It wasn't long ago. Today's Tuesday. And we didn't reach that peak today. But just think about it. What was going on? It was cold. And we were trying to stay comfortable, weren't we? And those units, those heating and cooling, those heating units had to work hard to keep you at 70 degrees, 68 degrees, or whatever the temperature you put in your house. It just had to happen. So that put a lot of strain on the system. Now, with Smart Connect, the Smart Connect program, this is a program that we developed to engage with you, the members, so we could help reduce that peak demand during those very infrequent peak times, those busy times when the thing about that is the cost of power during those peak times is at its highest point. It's the old analogy of supply and demand. When the demand is more, the supply is limited, we have to pay more for that power at SECO. Now, the Smart Connect program was put together so that we could collectively work together to try to reduce that peak demand to a point where we could minimize that extra cost that comes with having to pay for that expensive energy. It's a small price to pay for all of us when we all collectively get together. And the key thing about this program that we try to make sure happens is that we do not disrupt the comfort that you have in your home when we call on you to help us reduce that peak demand. And we make those temporary adjustments to 3 devices. Currently, there are 3 devices that you can use to help us. One is a smart thermostat. If you have how many of you have a smart thermostat? Great. The other device is if you drive an electric vehicle, a level 2 electric vehicle charging station that you might have installed within your home. And the third device is a battery backup system. Currently, those are the 3 devices that we can call on with your participation to help reduce that peak demand. We currently have around 7,000 of our members are already participating in this program, and it's making a difference. By doing that collectively as members, as member owners of your electric cooperative, helping your cooperative reduce that peak demand, we're saving dollars on our wholesale power costs. And that is the one bill that we get that takes up about 70 cents out of every dollar you give to us. We use it to buy power. So that's all of us working together as a team to reduce costs and to avoid purchasing that power when the price of that power is the most expensive. So if you're not participating, you should, because there's another catch. For those members who are participating are getting a bill credit because we're passing some of those savings on to our members. So to participate, there is an option for you to participate, and when you do, Seco Energy provides a bill credit for your participation. We all participate and we all benefit from that. Now, deeply embedded in our comprehensive strategy, you heard me talk about our strategy. There were two or three main initiatives that are part of that strategy, but there is something that's underlying in that strategy, and that's the common sense approach of never losing sight of what is most important to you, the members. It's real simple. What's really important to you is keeping the lights on and our rates as low as possible. Does anybody disagree with that? We know that's what matters, and that's what our strategy is really built around, keeping the lights on and keeping your rates as reasonable as possible. That's what we work to do. And when you talk about keeping the lights on, that's dealing with reliability, and reliability starts with preparation. That's something that Seco does constantly. We constantly invest in our system, whether it's keeping the trees off of the line, whether it's upgrading circuits, whether it's building new substations. All of that is around keeping the power on and sticking and being able to keep up with the growth that's happening within this region. Now, these investments are just as important as that new technology that I talked about with AMI investments and having new facilities. It's all important. Our reliability actually speaks for itself. We've been doing pretty good with reliability. We have consistently outperformed most other utilities when it comes to reliability. Our frequency of power outages is less, the duration of the outages is shorter, and the time that we take to respond is quicker than most. And we're proud of that, and we want to keep that going. Seco's rates have been some of the lowest over the recent months. We're proud to say that as well. It's worth mentioning that when the price of the fuels, however, when the price of the fuels that we talked about earlier to produce that power are low or normal, we get the benefit of that. And that benefit is typically passed on to you by way of power bucks, or hot bucks, excuse me. You see that on your bill, hot bucks. That credit is because of the fuel cost that we're purchasing is normally at a reasonable level. However, there are times when that goes away and the cost of fuel goes up. And when that happens, those hot bucks are minimized, they're lower, and sometimes they even might go away. But that's the one thing that's well out of our control that we have absolutely no control over. But our focus remains on the things that we can control. That is managing costs, operating the business as efficiently and responsibly as we can, making smart, long-term investments for your benefit. Now, as I wrap up, I'd like to make an appeal to you. Your feedback is critical to our success. So please, when we call on you for surveys, when we ask you, how can we improve, we would love for you to respond. We need your feedback because we're on a mission. We're on a mission to get better. And that getting better means we've got to listen to you. We've got to hear what we can do better. And there are some things that we want you to think about. This mission is all about getting you to think about some things when you think about Seco Energy. We want you to proudly say that Seco Energy is my trusted source of energy and energy solutions. We want you to say that Seco provides me with reliable electric service. We want you to also be able to say that Seco helps me better manage my energy use. And finally, we want to earn the right for you to say that Seco is a good value for the money I pay them. We have to earn that. So when we ask you questions, how can we be better, you got to tell us. We hope you will. Those are my remarks tonight. I want to ask you to do something for me. You have bags that you got when you registered. If you look inside that bag, there is a sheet in it that looks like this. It says at the top, Seco Energy 7 takeaways. That's my speech right there. You can take it home with you. It really gives you some highlights of the things that we talked about tonight. The expansion and improvement project, the Smart Hub, the energy estimator we didn't talk about, but that's something that you'd be interested in, I'm sure. Smart Connect. And the one I want to highlight is that number 5, something I didn't mention that is really important. And it's getting more and more prevalent everywhere you go these days, and that is scams. People attempting to get you to give you information that they can use in a bad way. And in many cases, what we're beginning to see is that folks are coming to you, our members, saying to you that they represent Seco Energy. But let me give you some clues of what you should look out for. If they come up on a vehicle, you would normally, and most often, see a Seco Energy sign on that vehicle, whether they're a Seco employee or one of our contractors. We give them signs to put on their trucks or vehicles to let you know that is a Seco representative. If they come to your door, they should have on some type of identification that shows that they are a Seco Energy representative. If you don't see that, if you're curious, or if you just don't feel right about it, call the office and verify. Make sure that you're not being talked to by someone who's trying to sell you something and saying that we represent Seco or Seco sent us or this is on behalf of Seco. Always be sure when you have strangers coming to your door. Okay, so next, I want to introduce our executive leadership team. But before I do that, we want to just remind you of some things that we talked about earlier. As in the Seco, we noted this in the District 6 notice, all attendees are entered into the bill credit drawings. Don't forget about that. And our bill credit drawings will be awarded as one $250 bill credit for the winners and 25 of those, or 20 of those $25 bill credits. They'll be announced sometimes by the end of this week. You'll be notified if you are a winner. And the credits will appear on your next bill if you are a winner. Now is the time for us, as Mr. Gherkin mentioned earlier, for us to have engagement. We're going to call on our engagement panel, and I'm going to introduce our leadership team. First is our Chief Operating Officer, Ben Dawson. Next is April Brown, our Vice President of Human Resources and Corporate Services. Tracy DeLimos, our Vice President and General Counsel. Ralph Grant, Vice President of Engineering. Kathy Juxton's not here tonight, so we're going to next call on, Tolo is not here. We have two of our members that are not here tonight. We're going to call on Wayne Pennington. He's our Vice President of Operations and Reliability. Ann Reynolds, Vice President of Financial and Administrative Services. And last but not least, Jerry Helms, who is the Executive Administrator for myself and our Board of Trustees. So we're here. And again, we want to remind you also, if you have questions about general things that you may be wondering about that we can all benefit from, let us hear them. If you have specific questions about your account or something that's happening at your specific location that you want to get support for or help, we have our team ready to support you, and we'll ask you to talk with one of them. They're waving, ready to help you. So who's going to be the first to give us a question tonight? Over here, Ryan.
First, thank you for meeting in a church and having a prayer and saying the pledge,
Yes,
a tradition that I hope you continue. We've driven God out of too much in our lives, and I'm glad you're keeping it here.
Thank you.
A big question. So maybe just touch on a few aspects, but AI and as it relates to data centers, and are there any that are being planned and anticipated in our region?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. And if you don't mind, share your name, sir. I didn't catch it.
Steve Brock.
Mr. Brock. AI is very popular. We get And what drives AI, of course, as you said, is data centers. We have gotten a lot of what I would consider light inquiries about data centers, but no serious inquiries. What we call serious is someone who's really ready to begin to invest and cover the costs that would be added to you, the members, to bring in a data center. That is a policy that we have established, is that for us to do a feasibility study, to start taking up time from our engineering team, we need to see some seriousness, and seriousness comes in the form of a check from the data center owners who are wanting us to tell us how much power we can provide for them and all of the technical details around it, which there are many. We want to, before we expend a lot of energy, because there are a lot of what I consider not serious inquiries, but no, we have not received any serious inquiries where that has gone to that next level. We have one.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Claudia Hancock. I'm new to the area. I'm just wondering, does SECO have any plans for using any kind of solar energy to generate power for the membership? And also, I've noticed that there's a lot of work being done on replacing power poles that are not just used by SECO, but also other utilities like cable companies and that sort of thing. If I see a pole that is not straight, leaning to one side, where should I call to report that sort of thing?
Okay, great. I'll answer in reverse order of your question. If you see a pole or anything, please just call our office, our general number, and anyone who answers the phone will take that information and pass it to the correct department that will take care of it. The question you asked about the cable companies and poles, using our poles, we do have cable companies who also use our facilities to bring internet service, telephone service, some of the other, mostly telecommunications, to the houses. We have agreements with those companies to use our poles. And we also, not only agreements, we have standards, safety standards that they must adhere to. And when they don't meet those standards, those two people will get onto them. So I'll Tracy or Ben, do you want to add anything to that?
So when they do ask to attach to our poles, some of those, sometimes they have to upgrade those poles and they pay for that cost to upgrade. So some of those replacement of poles that you might be seeing is that.
Okay, because what I have noticed is that they are putting in new poles for SECO, but leaving the old poles there that still have the other utilities attached.
That's correct. So there is a time frame that once we set the new pole, that the attacher has time to move over to the new pole, and then we'll go back and remove the old pole.
Thank you, Ben. Oh, yeah. So you want to do it? I'll get it. I'll save you for the hard one. So solar, with solar, we, as I mentioned earlier, we buy our power from Seminole Electric Cooperative. They have invested in solar. I think about 3% of the power that they generate for us and the other 8 co-ops is solar. But SECO Energy does not have solar installed, any solar facilities per se that we own as a part of our distribution system. It's all a part of the generation and transmission company that owns it.
We don't have any of our own electrical or power generation.
Solar, no, we don't generate, that's right,
Only buying from this other cooperative based in Tampa?
yes.
Thank you.
With the exception is that some of our members do have solar on their rooftops, and it produces solar just for your specific location. There are certain times that solar exceeds what you need in your home, and we have agreements that we have with our members that we will purchase that output that's exceeding what you need in your home, at the wholesale rate that we would otherwise pay someone else. That's the only generation that we have as SECO. Thank you for your question. Very good question.
My name is Joe Grasso. Question is about battery backup. Can you explain what that is for the homes?
I think Ralph has been sitting there kind of chilling out, so let's get Ralph to do it. You're welcome.
Right, so who am I talking? Oh, okay, sorry. So battery backup, right, you can purchase Tesla, there's a number of battery backup systems. Those are charged during the day, and then number one, if you lose power, right, it can power your home, or, as Mr. Wynn mentioned earlier, right, on the load, what we call load shaving, where we were looking to reduce our demand, we can call on that battery and it will be dispatched back onto the grid and lower our demands. But those are commercially available, right? There's a number of vendors out there that you can talk to about that.
Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Ralph. Yes, ma'am. I think she wanted, yeah.
Hi, Amy Dench. I have follow-up to that battery question. So do we pay for the energy that goes into that battery? And then if the power were to go out, that would power our home, or you're taking that power back? I was a little confused by your answer.
The answer is yes. So there's a couple of options you've got right on the battery. Number one, you can buy the battery and charge it from our grid. Secondly, you can do the solar. That's correct. Yes, you would pay for that. That would be part of the usage. The more popular is put the solar, right, use solar to charge it and offset some of that purchase price. And then what was the second part of the question was if there's a power outage, you know, I know how the solar works, you know, with the battery backup because we've looked into it and, right, you know, it would power our home. But you were saying with the with an outage or the demand, that would go back to the system? All right, so in an outage, you've got, not to get too technical, but you've got a transfer switch. Similar to having a generator, you've got a transfer switch that would isolate your home from the grid and it would power your home. Now, if there's not an outage and we're just calling, we call it dispatch, we can dispatch your battery back on the grid to lower the demand during normal operating times.
And then would we get a credit for that?
Yes.
Yes.
That's part of the, you're helping us when you do that. And we, in turn, give you a credit for participating in that program. Did that clarify? Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Susan Asbury. I was wondering where your new office is going to be located and when are you expected to move in there?
Okay. That's a question for Tracy. She's the main project manager over that. So ask Tracy to address that.
Thank you. So I assume you're asking about our Marion County location. So there's a Marion County Operations Center that is going to break ground later this year. It will break ground later this year, and we hope to be moving in by the end of next year, which we're very excited for. And that's for our operations team, the ones that actually get deployed out in the field.
The location?
Yes.
Where?
It's off of 484, just north of General RV. Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Hi, I'm Jan Chubb. I'm president of the Little Lake Worth subdivision across the street. And on our Facebook page, one of the residents accused, and they didn't say which, our subdivision is Duke and Seco, so I'm not sure who she was referring to, but accused the electric company of, when we had the power outage Monday morning, right, of the electric company cutting off the power and then turning it back on.
Right.
And I would like that clarified for the residents over there.
Yes, ma'am. It's being-
We did not turn off any power if it's the SECO side. I can't speak for the other utility. The outages that did occur was either due to equipment failure during those high load times, or we did have an area, a car versus pole, which caused an outage. So, but we did not turn off any power.
I posted on that Facebook. I asked her to go and back that is what happened. So, you know, I was just wondering where she got her information from, or whether it was just an accusation or assumption.
Right.
So,
Okay. Hank, I think you were next, and then the young lady, and then Ryan.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Taylor Sanchez. We're new-ish to Florida. We came from Kami, California, so I'm glad to be here. I had high PG&E rates there, so I'm glad that Seco's cheaper. So I had a question about where we live. Our streetlights are like nobody has streetlights on, and it makes trick-or-treating a little bit hard. So I was wondering, is that something that we have to pay for? Is that something that's going to change? How do I get the lights on the street? Because it is kind of dark.
So there's different ways. So if you're just trying to light up your individual in front of your home, you're welcome to contact us to look into providing putting a light in front of your yard. If you're talking along roadways, either depending on who owns those roadways, if it's a HOA subdivision, if it's a city, county, typically that's who provides the lighting for those roadways. So you're gonna have to approach them for that. But then they'll approach us, and then we'll provide those lighting services.
So the one in front of, like, the ones for the houses, then we have to pay for. So I would have to go to all my neighbors and be like, can you guys turn on your lights?
That's correct.
Oh.
And it wouldn't hurt if you, Ms. Sanchez, if you ask one of our representatives, and we might be able to pinpoint whether there's area lighting in your neighborhood or not. So if you would talk to one of them. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me get you a mic, and then the young lady behind you was going to go first, and you go next, okay? All right.
Marilyn Worcester.
Yes, ma'am.
I was just wondering about a lot of us snowbirds. We pay a price during the winter time or the summer when we're out of state. Where does that money go to that we have paid in?
Right. So the facilities charge is exactly what it says. It's the provision for us to have the transformer and the equipment there all the time. So that's the cost that goes to the person who's going to eventually use it. Maybe that the time that you're not here, it still is there, and there's a cost to keeping it there and maintaining it. So that's what that is. So there's a basic facilities charge for just having the provision for power, even when you're not there to use it 12 months out of the year, right? So when you come back, you want it to be there, right? We'll make sure that it's there and ready for you. Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Barbara Keston. I was curious about the street lights. It's very dark on Bird Island, where I live, and there's a light between our house and the house next to us. I mean, there isn't a light, there's a pole. Do they charge it to us, or, I mean, the electric, or how does that work?
If it's
To have the light, have
right.
a light put up?
There are two scenarios we'll talk about. One is if you're part of a neighborhood that is providing area lighting along the streets. If that's one scenario, they would be in charge of deciding where that goes. The next scenario is if you, as an individual, would like to have lighting in your yard, that is something you would have to call us and say, we want to install a light for our purpose at our location. Yes, ma'am.
We did put a lamp post in our front yard, hoping that maybe some other people would do it too, but we were the only ones that did it. But who pays for the light on the pole if you guys put it?
If we put it on the pole specifically for you, that would be a charge to you as a member.
Okay, how much would that be a month?
Does that one, let us give you that specific, what is the basic?
Approximately.
Is it,
Oh, $10? That's all?
yeah. Is it, how much is it? Tim, just $9 for just your basic.
And that's monthly?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
No, thank you for your question. Okay.
So I live on a flag property. You can't see my home from the street. We have what we call our very long driveway. Could we have one of those lights put like near the street on our driveway? Is that possible?
Yes.
Because we don't really want it in our front yard because it wouldn't do anything for us. But it would be very beneficial to have one close to the street.
It just depends. I think that's something we can go out and take a look at. Just before you leave tonight, reach out to one of the member services. They can take your information and get it to the right people, and we can come out and take a look at it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, sir.
I just have a comment. Just have a comment to make that you had talked about a transformer being out earlier. I've lived here for 14 years now, and I don't remember 10 years or so ago, they had a transformer out, and we had to wait like 2 or 3 days for them to replace it. We have not had a problem with the service since then. It's been phenomenal. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'm sorry, it's not short to me, but it's okay. I don't have a question, actually I have a comment. Several people made or asked questions about having the light poles. I had one installed 6-7 years ago. You guys, it's been excellent. I feel a lot more secure. Occasionally the bulb will start failing. I've made a phone call, and I mean within hours they've been there to put it up. You know, even when it's been cruddy weather, I've seen them come out there quickly. And I pay near nothing for it, and it's just for safety and for security, and it helps light my home. It's a really great benefit. So if you're thinking about doing it, it's definitely worth doing it.
Thank you.
And thank you for your service. You do guys come out really quickly. I've never had a problem.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Okay, very good questions. This is what we really appreciate and expect you to do. Ask questions. Let us answer your questions and get what you need. So we appreciate it. I don't see any more hands going once, going twice. We're done with that part of it. So I want to just give you a couple more reminders. Mark your calendars for Thursday, March 26th. That is the date of our virtual annual meeting. Now this is the 3rd district meeting. Now we have our annual meeting that's coming up in March. Tonight's giveaways are just a small sample of what we give away for the annual meeting. So I encourage you to register and be a part of that. This is your opportunity to participate and win more prizes with that. Watch out for your annual meeting notice. It'll come to you in the mail, which will include your registration card, your voting information, and additional details that you might need to know about, that meeting. I'm going to turn the stage back over to Mr. Gerken, who's going to close us out this evening. Thank you for your attention. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Curtis is a little taller than I am. I'll be very brief. There are 2 things left on the scorecard this evening. One is adjournment, and the second is the announcement of the trivia winners, which you must be present to win. That was very clever of us to keep you here till the end, so, but we'll get on with that. But before we adjourn, I would also like to echo, we have district meetings from around the service area, and it's good to see you all come out. It's good to hear the questions, and keep in mind there are people here to answer if you forgot to ask a question or have a question about your personal situation. You can ask any of the good folks with SECO here tonight. Thanks again to our staff for running a wonderful meeting and for being here this evening and for keeping the lights on for you. Thanks again to our trustees for all the work that they do and for our executive team. And with that, if you would care to, I will entertain a motion to adjourn. If there's anyone that would make that motion, please. We have a first here, a second. Do I have a second? Second over here, the lady. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned, but please stay tight for your trivia winner announcements. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Amanda Richardson, and I'm the Director of Corporate Communications here at SECO Energy. And I have Megan Shaw with me, who's one of our communications specialists. And we are going to draw trivia winners. First winner is Diana Horn. And our second winner is Melissa McCoy. All right, our third lucky winner is Carl Schmeckenpepper. Schmeckenpep? Yep, here we go. Congratulations, and thank you for joining us this evening.